let me know.
How you? Which way should I face it?
We good. We live, so it's light and good. Can they see good enough over there?
So wait,
Right.
I'm seeing myself in
You
this.
see it yourself. You don't want that.
Hold on.
I'm gonna flip the camera. Peace.
There we go.
Let me see. Good. See how that looks.
Kind of dark.
Kind of dark.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
a little bit.
Still dark.
We gonna get it going. If you got
It's really dark.
still dark. We see
Yeah,
that
a
look.
little bit.
That's pretty good though, man.
No,
Alright.
you're dark.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
Got the hat on too. So.
gonna do this.
Yeah, that bike better.
Let's see this. How that look.
That's cool.
Alright, do that.
Yeah, man. It's your boy Franchise, and I'm back with another episode of the Brother Stop It podcast, man. And I got this guest right here, man. It's mind blowing to me because I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, when I first started thinking of doing a podcast, it was kind of one of the reasons that I said I gotta have, like, the first people I was thinking of who I'm gonna try to ever get on my podcast and my goals. Like, I had draw a whole list out, and he definitely was like in the top 3 people, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't know when I was gonna connect with the brother. It's a blessing to be able to connect with him. I got none other than my man, Brother Polight in the building, man. Real tough.
Appreciate that, brother.
Real tough, man. It's a real serious brother out there, man. And it's very humbling experience for me to just have him right here because I've learned a lot from him, man. Over the last few years of my life, I can't lie. Like, I probably learned more from him than I've learned in my whole life, as far as all the information that I've been taught about historical facts, geographical facts, religious facts. A lot of stuff I've learned about the woman, the black woman, you know what I'm saying? Women in general of all cultures. I've learned about Europeans. I learned about so many things from this one person, man. So before I let him speak, I just had to get all that out. It's a pleasure for me to have you here, man.
Thanks a lot, my
I
brother.
just
I
wanted to have
appreciate
you.
that, King. Word.
Real tough, you know?
Means a lot to me.
Nah, for real, man. Because, like, when I first met you, you know what I'm saying? It was really like me watching you on the videos, and I was doing the 125th. I'm from Harlem, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm like, yo, I see where he be at. He be right there beside another, and then be at. I didn't even know another name until I started watching it, but you like the main person out of all the people that was making the most sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what, you just kept your level. I mean, you get, of course, you get, you know, when somebody else is talking loud, more like, most of the time, it's like, you basically got to glad somebody else is like, because they can't deal with the information you deal with. You breaking the facts down. I mean, it's just none of that, man. The bottom line is, we gotta stop playing, man. Like, I watched a lot of people posting a video yesterday of the Iranian people crying. I'm saying, and I'm not saying y'all wish nothing bad on them, but at the end of the day, focus on my people. We do that shit every day. Them motherfuckers don't be out here holding us down and posting shit for us. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not banging on nobody indirectly, personally, or nothing. But at the end of the day, I love my people. So it was important for me to get somebody here that talk to my people even better than I can. Because a lot of people look at me in my community and say, yo, you know this or you know that. And I do know a lot of stuff. But him, some of the stuff that you probably even heard me say, it probably is something that I might have heard him say or it bounced off of that or something to that effect. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the stuff that I've learned over the last few years definitely come from him. So I know I've been talking a lot. I'm long-winded too.
Nah, that's
But
making sense.
I just want to say, first of all, I just gotta ask you the first question I gotta start off with
Let's
is,
get it. Let's do it.
what the hell is going on in our country right now, man? Like, is this guy gonna get away with this? And what's the best and worst things that can come out of this situation from your perspective?
The worst things that's going to come out of the situation is that we get involved with fights that don't pertain to us. In addition to getting jumped by several different communities, because this is an attack that's taking place that is not exclusive to just Mexicans, not exclusive to just Russians, not exclusive to Muslims. This is a very diverse attack, all simultaneous, may I add. So the worst thing that could come out of the situation, which I think is inevitable, is that we're going to get hit from several sides. The good thing about it is, if black people decide to rise up, then it'd be the most opportune moment to do so, because when a nation has foreign threats and oppress their own citizens, that nation can ill afford to have a civil war while they have to take care of external war. You feel me? It's like the human body. You can say, I'm ready to go out there and bang. I'm ready to rep for my team and fight for my crew. But how can you do that if you have diabetes and your legs are swollen, or you can barely see your ankles, or you got high blood pressure? You can't really have an internal war and suggesting to people you're ready to fight the external war. So we look at America like a body. And right now, the way they've treated black people is the cancer. So if you watch what's going on now, quiet is kept. The oppressive white man is very humble before the black man, because he's going to need him to take on this external fight amongst the diverse forces that he's engaging. Because this is what he does all the time. He treats us horribly. He gets overwhelmed when he starts taking on other races. And now he'll start giving us privileges like, we'll cut your student loan if you just risk your life and fight this war. We'll even give you a better education. So I see it coming. One of the greatest things that can happen to us is that we unify in light of this scenario. And we also bear witness that this thing that they call black on black crime is a farce, because people of their own community perpetrate crimes against themselves quite often. It doesn't matter what community it is, but they feel it suffices to identify our crime as black on black crime. Well, this is an opportunity for us to say, you know what, let's bear witness to white on white crime. It's going to bring about a lot of black pride. It brings about a lot of black pride to me every time I see white folks going out there banging on other white folks in the name of politics. It tells me suddenly black people are not that bad. Other people are just as violent. And black people need to see this. They need to see the other races going to war. And we need to get the hell out of it. Now, many people say y'all should be involved with this. You of all people should understand this. Yeah, I'm part of the people that understand that you guys didn't create all this hoopla around us when we was being oppressed. When Eric Garner got headlocked and choked out to death. When Mike Brown got shot to death. When Sean Bell got shot to death. They didn't come out in the masses to respond to them. And in fact, if we look at the 400-plus-year-old history going back in America, we can see no one has really responded to the mass genocide of our people. Why is that so very important? I'm going to tell you why that's so very important. The reason it's important is on account to this fact right here. If we can continuously be oppressed and no one really comes to our aid, we say now we got to respond to the Muslim man's aid. The whole reason the Muslim and the Muslim woman have to fight for their rights right now is because they didn't join in the fight for our rights. Because the fight for our rights was simultaneously the fight for their rights. But now that it's hit home, now you learn what it's like to live a day in the life of a nigga. The very ones that you ignored this whole time. The whole time we was being raped, robbed and pillaged, castrated, suffering and being subjected to racial animus, police brutality, you name it. False incarcerations, stop and frisk, police brutality, you feel me? Racial profiling of all sorts. We've had to be subject to these things and endure from one year to the next with no one really come to our aid. And now, because you got a 3-month privilege taken away from you to come back as young family. What about me having my balls detached from me? You just don't get that back in 3 months. What about me having my family stripped from me from a lifetime? You don't just get that back in 3 months. You got a 3-month privilege revoked. And we're supposed to understand. We understand quite clearly. We understand quite clearly what's taking place. So much so, we also understand who was fighting by our side when they should listen to Dr. King when he said, and I'm paraphrasing, that a social injustice perpetrated against one is a social injustice perpetrated against them all. Meaning, anybody that gets away with alienating or undermining the living circumstances of any group of humanity is attacking all groups of humanity. Dr. King called this out years ago. So now what we're looking at is the idiot masses who now just realize, hey, you know, you can't do this. Yes, they can. They've been doing it to us. And the reason why they can do it is because they've been doing it to us and you ain't give a damn. So that's where I'm at with this. The best thing that come out of this is that we mind our business. The worst thing that can come out of it is we get involved. We should just sit here and see how other races react when they are the new nigga. Because I'm going to tell you now, when Trump's in office, and I said this before, this was my prophecy. I said, starting now, the only niggas I know are white people. And anybody that's been following me on Instagram, you see my hashtag. All the niggas I know are white. And I called it out because I said when Trump gets into office, white people, Asians, and the likes will be made out to be the new niggas. They've done abuse this as much as they possibly can. And it doesn't mean that we're off the hook. I'm just saying the new niggas, the new people that gotta fight for their rights and their civil liberties will not be black people. There's going to be every other race will become a nigga. We'll be coming out against this. They're going to start becoming niggas. They're going to start vandalizing and terrorizing their own neighborhoods. They're going to be fighting amongst each other. It's going to be addictive. So even when this argument subsides, they'll still be fighting amongst each other. Just to prove a point. They're going to become violent in nature because violence is going to be the order of the day, every day of the week. So much so that when the situation gets resolved, they won't be able to shake the violent contention that is brewing or precipitating within their body. It'll become a way of life. It'll become a habit. You understand? Taxes will be raised. Rich white folks will be mad. Poor white folks will be feeling like they're alienated. All white folks in general will be angry. You feel what I'm saying? It's going to get out of control. We need to let the new nigga take our place. That's what we got to do. We need to let the Muslims become new nigga. Let the Caucasians become the new nigga. We need to just step back and we need to see how it feels to be white. That's what we do. That's how I felt the whole time. When they was watching us get alienated, when they was watching us get abused, when they was watching us be manipulated, when they was watching us be undermined, when they was watching our privileges being taken away. Let's see how it felt to sit in the white man's seat from his view. And the shit feel good. Quite frankly, I'm actually excited about this as it goes on every day. Yeah, I know it's going to affect me, but it was affecting me when it was at me directly. So what the hell is the difference now? I just like looking at it because they don't know how to deal with the situation. They don't know how to deal with the right being taken away. We've done this so much, we can actually write a code book, a step-by-step guide on how to deal with the white man's bullshit when he takes away your rights deliberately in front of the whole world and embarrasses you. If they were smart, they should just come to us for counseling. So how do you deal with this white man under these conditions? So we can give them the code. We got the keys when it comes to this shit. You feel what I'm saying? The Muslims either know black people. Because we've been dealing with this shit for years with the white man. We know it inside out. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, don't even bother to fight for your rights, white man. Muslim, don't even bother to fight for your rights. Because the more you protest, he's just going to turn up on you. You feel what I'm saying? We can tell him this is going to go on for the rest of this administration. I can tell you that right now. You know what I'm saying? Take it from a 400+ year experience. You're no different. In fact, he's going to be more appalled that you are trying to rise up against him as opposed to us. Because with us, he can understand if we try to, and we ain't even go at him as hard as we should. Living in this nation to this very day, still sending our children to their schools, still being vaccinated under them, still sending our family to their hospitals. We've handled this pretty good. We've managed to hurt each other a whole lot more than we managed to hurt him. So this white man's going to say, you guys have the gall to actually come against me? Them niggas ain't even do that. You seen how they played their role? And y'all want to come stepping out? Step out then. I think it's going to get ugly for white America, if you ask me. I think it's going to get real ugly for white America. And I'm sitting in that white man's seat, watching how it looks from a white man's point of view when people are being abused, undermined, massively incarcerated, manipulated, white people getting locked up just for having cameras on police. You can't do that. Police like, man, put that fucking camera down. You can't say that to me. I'm trying to tell the white man, oh, yes, he can. He does it to us all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, true.
Yo, word up.
So in position, just like, you know, like, where we from, you know, like, even in my crew, you know, I got some brothers that's, you know, Muslims, you know, we got black Muslims, what's like a lot of them are they caught in the middle of it, or like what's the perspective, or what's their stance, or what should they take from this? Is like where they, because like one of my friends, he posted some shit where somebody was saying you're not really, like, I guess somebody told him like you're not really a Muslim, or you a fake Muslim, or so he's like, I was born in America and I was raised Muslim my whole life. He's like, what am I supposed to? He's like, that kind of it kind of stunned me. Like, I guess somebody else who was Muslim was telling him that. You know what I'm
Man, I don't know how anyone is raised Muslim or Christian or Jew their whole life. You've been raised to be a nigga in America. If you're looking like me, you got our hair texture. If you have our complexion, you've been raised to be a nigga. A nigga perpetrating the fraud of a Muslim. A nigga perpetrating the fraud of a Christian. A nigga perpetrating the fraud of a Hebrew. You've been raised to be a nigga with purported options, but you didn't even choose from the selection you chose from. When you go to a sneaker store, someone has chosen amongst that which you would choose from. Yet you still feel you made a choice. So when we deal with religion, you didn't really have Buddhism as an option. You didn't have Taoism as an option. Yeah, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and some of their subordinate signatures as an option. And so someone chose from amongst that which you would choose from. And in turn, you really had no choice. Where there is no choice, that's what you was raised as. You was raised as a black man, because that's how you came out. Everything else was a choice, which means you wasn't raised as such. Okay, that's a decision. When you have to make a decision about how you will transform, that is not how you're raised. When you are something from the time you come into this world, that is how you're raised. You can be raised to be a woman if you're a woman. You can be raised to be a man if you're a man. You can be raised to be black if you're black. That's how that world works. You can't be raised into a religion. You can only convert. It's not you. So what I would suggest to the Muslim brother, I was born Muslim. No, you wasn't, because you would have had to learn from the Quran. I was born Christian. No, you had religious instruction. That's how you know about Adam and Eve. No baby was ever born and understood the tenets and the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. That is something someone had to teach you. That is something you had to make subscriptions to on account to indoctrination. The day a baby doesn't have to be taught about God and believe in God, I'll let my convictions against religion subside. But it stands to reason you have to be educated about who God is before God can actually play a part in your life. Someone has to teach you what the rules are before you actually can follow the rules as per God's request. Then the baby can be born and the baby knows to be breastfed because it's pre-encoded. Baby never been here from day one. First time on earth. From the stimulus of hunger, it incites something in the DNA for them to know where to go to be weaned. The baby was never taught where to go for breastfeeding. It's a pre-encoded gene. Why can't God pre-encode his information so we don't need different versions of the Bibles and the Qurans? See, why can't the Quran be pre-encoded in our DNA? Like the baby knows to be breastfed. Why can't we know from the time we born? By the time I start speaking, no, we had to learn that. No, someone taught you that. Someone taught you that. Why can't God pre-encode it in your DNA so no one has to teach you how to pronounce these words, how to recite these surahs, how to read the ayats? Why can't God just put that in your DNA so that way we won't even have so many different versions? You know why? Because everybody that's walking around has the same book of life, but the book of life is DNA and RNA. So the book of life would say the things you need to know is what you was born with. It wasn't the Quran. But you knew how to be breastfed. How about that one? Your body knows when to go through puberty. How about that? You become erect at a certain age. How about that? God couldn't say, well, let's throw the Bible inside the DNA too, so that way there will be no arguments. See how it works? But we don't want to look at common sense like that and say, damn, God could have just uploaded the DNA. He could have uploaded the Bible to our DNA so our conscience can be responsive to this information so we don't even have to go to war with each other. We wouldn't have to have a crusades, Christians against Moors. You know, they call rice and beans. After that, when you go over there in Morocco, they call it the crusades. They call it Moors versus Christians, rice and beans.
Wow.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just real talk. I ain't making this up. So
Wow.
we wouldn't even need that. If God was just sharp enough to say, yo, the same way that babies know how to be breastfed from the stimulus of hunger, maybe a stimulus of wanting to know about life, the Quran should just come to fruition in our consciousness. See? So now you have to worry about different versions of the Quran or different versions of the Bible. We just have to consider there's different types of people with the same information. Because no matter how many different versions of babies come out in this world, they all know how to be breastfed. There ain't no argument amongst the babies the way we're going to go about sucking on the titty to get our milk. Is there? Because it's very specific.
Right.
From the stimulus of hunger, you get fed. You know where to go. Who taught that child where to go? It's beyond me. It's been passed on from one generation to the next, over and over and over and over, but it has to obviously be pre-encoded. Who teaches the bird how to make a nest? The birds don't have a school where they take the branches and say, let's put this thing together, you know?
So you think like religion has helped us more than, hurt us more than it's helped us?
It had to hurt us. Religion takes away your common sense. Like this, when you start feeding the baby out of a bottle, what happens? The baby then rejects the breast. That's what the baby does. That's why they make the nipple of the bottle called the nipple. Because it's supplanting the original thing. So now the baby's gone crazy. That's right. The first act of insanity perpetrated against a child to make them lose their mind is to give them a plastic nipple instead of the organic nipple. You know what I'm talking about? Organic food. The organic food is to suck from your mama's breast. To give a child a bottle with a plastic nipple, and they even call it a nipple, is a damn disgrace. And then to give them a pacifier with a nipple on it that doesn't even any food, which is even worse, because now that child gets gas, and what we're doing is we're relying on what the child believes to be in essence something that will feed it, and now the child has to learn how to come up short of expectations in this world, because the child is sucking that nipple only because they believe if I keep sucking hard enough, something will come out. All the while, they have no idea that this is a pacifier. We're just trying to give this child this to shut up. The child is uncomfortable. Put something out. Do you believe the child just wants to suck on plastic? No. The child is saying to himself or herself, food will eventually come out of here. You're making your baby retarded when you do stuff like this. And it sounds crazy, but you're actually making the child have mental complications. Because the child's concept of food is deranged now. Because they was pre-encoded to suck from something that yields them food. And now you're giving them something that when they do suck from it, it can't give them no food, but it's there to shut them up. It's there to pacify them. And now what you're doing is re-encoding the DNA. So now if you try to put that baby back on a titty, guess what's going to happen? The baby's going to refuse the titty for the pacifier that doesn't give them no food. You're turning your child retarded. It's absolute fact. Because now this child would rather have something with the belief that it will give it something. And now this is the birth of religion. We've just created a construct where this child would be more inclined to subject themselves to religious beliefs. Because one of the first beliefs is that the pacifier is going to give me something that can't. And it will be better than the source from which it actually derives. You're actually indoctrinating that child and preparing and setting the stage for them to get into religion. So yes, religion definitely harms us. And the first portion of religion that we're introduced to is being given nipples that don't build us food. Plastic nipples at that. That's the first form of religious indoctrination. Because that child has to believe that eventually this pacifier will give me milk. That child has to believe that. And you put that child on that belief throughout the course of that child's age after being a baby until they're able to rationalize, okay, the pacifier won't give me nothing. But I still like to suck on it now. Then turns into suck on thumb. Though my thumb won't give me no sustenance either. It's a form of retardation, sucking your thumb. It's actually a form of stupidity. Because coming from the pacifier which supplanted the actual breast that's supposed to turn our children stupid with these practices. It doesn't seem to get a child rocked by a baby on the top when the wind blows the cradle will rock. Why would we tell our children to sing a song like that? Why would you put your baby on the treetop for the wind to blow for the cradle to rock? If we do that, child services will come here. But they look at our parents and we see how the young adults and some of the fairly old ones throw their children in the trash, pull them out with a hanger from their uterus, try to flush them down the toilet. You say, what kind of parents would do this? The same ones where the adults would teach the children to pretend to rock their baby on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. So we can't wait to see if the baby's going to fall out the tree while the wind is blowing. Then when the child becomes an adult and they throw their baby in the garbage, you can't make the connection. Why would you do such a thing like that? You've indoctrinated this adult from childhood to pretend to put their baby in a very high place and see if the challenge of the wind blowing the cradle will cause the child to fall on the floor, which inevitably means death. So we are preparing what type of parent in that instance.
So that's what religion. So religion is like, that's like basically saying like religion is basically the same kind of detrimental. Is detrimental to us as a people the same way all of those things are detrimental to a baby.
Of course. In fact, religion is for babies. That's the point that I'm making. You have to be baby in mind to accept religion. I mean, this is some of the things that people tell you. You got a brother named Tazariak who says the sky is going to crack. And this is the terminology, the sky is going to crack. Whatever that means, like it's a piece of glass. The sky is going to crack. And 200 million supporters of Christ, angels, is going to come down with Christ. And they're going to overthrow the white man. And if where in the Bible it says 200 million people are going to come down here, brother. And he says it with pride. He says it with conviction. And he's a grown man, but he certainly will say the sky is going to crack and the Lord's going to come down here in the name of Christ with 200 million black alien gangsters in the name of Christ. You see, so this is grown men saying this. Grown men saying two of every animal went on a ship. Where did the ship go? Because the pyramids are still here. You know the ship would have to be in Brooklyn, right? We got a piece of wood yet? Then some of them will tell you, you know, they found a piece of the ark. How come you don't want to say that? You know it's not worldwide recognition of it, right? How come you and a small group of people say, yo, but you know the Lord just does these things. So what happened to Jesus? Oh no, the Lord took him up. What happened to Elijah? Oh no, the Lord took him up. What happened to Enoch? Oh no, the Lord took him up. Is there anyone that God didn't take up that we can see some remnants of his bones? Where's Paul? We don't know where the hell his bones are. Oh, we wasn't following the rules, so the Lord crushed all the bones and got rid of it. You know what I'm saying? There's always a damn excuse. You see what I'm saying? There's always an excuse because it's for children. If you're 30 years old, 40 years old, and you believe in this chaos. Oh, so the homie found out that his wife was pregnant. And no one even questions, first of all, how old was Mary when she was conceiving. For her to have a husband named Joseph in the first place and how old he was. For him not even to impregnate her, which would have been pedophilia. But for her to still be pregnant and everyone just lets it go and no one even suggests or says to us, you know, Mary was way too young to have a baby in the first place. So first of all, we need to talk to God about his pedophilia ways. Because God is a pedophile. Now, I don't care if she was impregnated by the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is a pedophile. And he was commissioned by God to have sex with a minor. You see? Then when pastors practice it, where did that come from? But that's just like Rockabye Baby on the Treetop being sung to children. Then later on, they trash their babies. And you say, where's the connection? Why would someone do something like that? Well, why would the pastors do what they do? Because their God is a pedophile. And then God commissioned the Holy Spirit in the form of Gabriel to impregnate Mary at a very tender age, who already had a husband that was too old for her in the first place. So she cheated on her husband with the Holy Spirit. Went through a normal 9-month birth period. She went through a normal 9-month birth period. And people get upset. And Prophet Muhammad was illiterate. Okay. They say he couldn't read. But he received a book. And he was told to ikra. Or to read in the name of a sustainer. But some would say recite. But the man was given a book and he couldn't read. But that's part of the miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so the prophet was the best example. So should we all walk around and make sure we don't read to follow the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad? Well, that's what we should do, right? See, shit is stupid. And then when you go into the translation, you realize that the word is ummi, that they're using for illiterate, which means unlettered, which means that's when a person doesn't understand a language from a specific scripture. Not that they can't read at all. So it's ummi as in mother, and it's ummi meaning unlettered, meaning one who can't understand language as it relates to a specific scriptural corpus. But you leave it to the ignorant, and the ignorant will tell you he couldn't read, and that was part of the miracle because he got the Quran over a set series of years. And he mastered it. So an illiterate man encouraged everyone to read the book. You see, we wouldn't even say something wrong with the story. We'd chalk it off to being a miracle. But we'll see Malcolm X, we'll see Dr. King, we'll see Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We won't call that a miracle. What they was able to accomplish during the time that they were in, considering the state and the condition of our people. We wouldn't consider that a miracle. No, we need to believe that a damn 12, 13-year-old woman who had a man that was way too old for her, he believed that God actually impregnated her. He's stupid too. Joseph is an asshole. But you see, oh man, you got to respect people's religions. Then the religion should respect my intelligence. You want me to respect your religion? That religion should respect my intelligence. Because you got an overage man here who exercised no jealousy or no concern that his underage girl, friend, or wife, because Joseph is a pedophile too. You feel me? Joseph is a pedophile. Or he's off the hook because the Holy Spirit beat it before he got a chance to beat it. But he's still a damn pedophile because he shouldn't have been with Mary in the first place. So no one's concerned with Mary's age. Religious people sweep that under the rug. No, because God impregnated him. God is a pedophile. Why would God make a 12, 13-year-old pregnant?
That's how she was. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, all you gotta do is ask religiously, how old was Mary? That shit go under the... I don't know. You know what? That doesn't matter. It does matter. Because if your 12, 13-year-old was pregnant, no, it was God. I'm telling you. Nobody believes in that fucking miracle in 2017. Ask a Christian here if they walk in their house and their little 12, 13-year-old daughter says, the Holy Spirit endowed me, came in onto me. And now I'm fulfilled. Man, if it's a black family, that girl getting her shit back. We just got to see it happen. I would like to see it in works. I'd like to see you let you that the Lord came in onto her. It was no mere physical man that came in onto her for her to start conceiving. Let me see how many of you Christians will believe some shit like that. But you Christians is going to give God the pass for impregnating a 12, 13-year-old girl. Because some say 12, some say 13. But whether she was 14 or 15, she still was too damn young. Because you think she's too young now, but you give God the pass. So shouldn't we follow the example? Oh, no. Only her. She can get the right to have sex at 13. Oh, but you see, she didn't have sex. God just planted a seed and made... Look, stop this bull crap. Stop it. This is for children. So that's why I'm saying, to be religious, you have to be childish. And you know, this gets people mad. And you know what people do? People are like, yo, I'm going to kill you when I see you. You know why? Because your God don't exist. Because God would kill me. God would kill me. God should be pissed off with me right now. So why you got to kick my ass? Because you know God won't. Because he don't exist, do you? You feel me? When I need bread, you know what I do? I call my people for help. I look for jobs. I look for opportunities. I create within myself. You ain't going to call on God for the exact dollar amount you need in fear that God won't respond. When you need $630, when you need to pay your bills, you know who your God is? The white man, because you fill out his job application. Why don't you just sit on your ass as a God-fearing citizen? You want to be in his kingdom, or you worship him every Sunday. You read Psalms every time you're on the train. You're a good Christian. What the hell are you doing working a job? Just ask God for the money. But you never ask him for an exact amount because you don't want to realize you're not going to get the exact amount and then say, yo, what the fuck is up? You make excuses for God. But when you need help, you call on people. When you need real help, you call on people. You wake up in the mornings, thank God he woke me up. You need money to pay your bills, you go to real people and you work. People full of shit, man. This shit is very convenient where they put God in place. You know, people do wrong by you, niggas make you sick. Things go good by you, nigga can't get no credit. It's God. So only niggas can make you sick. And God do you right. You ain't got nothing in your heart to say, let me give my brothers and sisters credit for the things that they do for me. You don't got it in your heart. You're pacifists when it comes to giving black people their credit, they love, and they support. We grind together. We went through oppression together. We build our communities together. We destroy our communities together. We are the masters of our own destiny. But still you want to credit everything good to this make-believe, fictional character that if he was real, he would struck me dead today. I'd be one of the first people on God's hit list. Because if I saw God in person, I'd smack him in his fucking face for lying to our people so long. Is it big? Let me show you something for you. Let me show you something. Tell me why I should believe in God who existed during the time we were being castrated. Tell me why I should believe in a God during the time when he was tying women's legs to two different horses, two different directions for the fetus to fall out. Tell me why I should pray to a God that existed, or Allah, that existed during the time we was in a trans-sub-Saharan slave trade that took place for 1,200 years of us being in a state of involuntary servitude where they made us walk through the damn desert to go to the next people that they was going to enslave us to. Why should I believe in Allah during this trans-sub-Saharan slave trade where they made us by the millions into eunuchs, men that were alive without their balls, without their penises, actually double castrated us. That's called a double castration. When they took our penis and our balls from us and kept us alive. They mastered how to keep us alive without a penis and balls. It's called a double castration. They did the shit to us for 1,200 years. That's why you see all those mulatto-looking people in Africa, because they was having sex with all the women and made sure we couldn't have sex with them. So you see all these Arabs with Nubian or Negroid features. They got curly hair, or they got broad noses, and they got this complexion that's not quite white, not quite black. You see them, you don't really call them black. You see them, you don't really call them white. But they got everybody fucking features somehow. How's that happening? But Allah was around during that time. So you can explain to me why Allah would let that happen to us for 1,200 years. What did I do wrong? Then God picked up. You had a 1,200 year run, my nigga. Give it to God of Christianity. He picks it up for 400 years. We think we come out of that. Dr. King get assassinated. Oh, he was a Boule. He was part of Boule society. Malcolm X get assassinated. He shouldn't have turned on Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Marcus Garvey get deported. Well, you know, I mean, he was Catholic though. But look at this. Dr. King was Christian. Marcus Garvey was Catholic. And Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is Muslim, who they locked up. Malcolm X is Muslim, who they assassinated. So we see the fate of the Muslim black, the Catholic black, and the Christian black. And they all suffered the same fate under the hands of this fucking white man. They all suffered the same fate. They all had a choice in different gods. And they all got their ass kicked. What did it tell us? That the men are brilliant and the gods are false. That's what it tells me. I give the men the credit. The men get the credit. The God is false. Unless someone can explain to me why 1,600 plus years. I'm talking 1,200 trans-sub-Saharan slave trade, 400 plus in America, 1,600 plus years total, almost 2 millenniums. I need to know. Why on God's watch? Unless you give me a new God that's created today, that wasn't alive during them 1,600 years, I can't fucking believe in God. I can't believe in no book that you've been worshiping, or no God from no narrative that you've been dealing with this whole time, if he existed during the time we've been castrated, double castrated, raped, robbed, and pillaged. I got every right to say, I don't believe in that shit. And I got every right to look at everyone that does believe in it like they're fucking nuts. And you got low self-esteem. To believe in God is to have low self-esteem. To be introduced to a weapon called God during your lowest time is to say the best thing that's happened to you was slavery because you got God. If God gets introduced to you only on account to you being oppressed, then God is a weapon. used against you, not for you. And now you got to explain to me, how come all the other races is having a good time on planet Earth? What did they do? Oh no, the Lord is going to get them soon. You see, that's what you don't understand. Nigga, it's been 1,600 years. No bullshit. Jesus ain't come the whole 1,600 years. We've been getting fried. He ain't come. And now 200 million people that help Christ, that means the white man is very powerful. Why he can't just wipe him out with a finger? I mean, he got a 13-year-old pregnant out of the fucking sky. But now we need 200 million soldiers to come out the sky. But this man had the power to make the sun, moon, and the stars at the tip of his finger. He made the heavens and the earth. He separated light from day. He made good from bad. So if he made good from bad, then God is responsible for all the evil. Then it makes sense. If people don't like homosexuals, I say, okay, that's your right to not like homosexuals. Is homosexuality evil? They say yes. Did God create good and did God create evil? Yes. So God created homosexuality? They say no. Man created homosexuality. Can man create something God didn't create? No, he can't. Only God can create that which is created. Man can only try to create from what God created. So man only makes. Dope. So God created homosexuality. Why he did that if he don't like it? Man created homosexuality. Can man create something that God didn't create? No, he cannot. Okay, did God create good and did God create evil? Yes, he did. Is homosexuality evil? Yes, it is, says the religious man. So God created homosexuality. No, he didn't. Man did. See, this is childish shit I'm talking about. And I've had this conversation, and many of you know I had this conversation with every religious person over and over and over, and they all say the same thing. God creates good from evil, and then when I ask them about certain evil, so God created fluoride to create the calcium phosphate crystallization of our pineal gland. Huh? Nigga, did God create poison to destroy black people? No, he gave us the will to use the poison. Did he create the poison? We can use the will to use the poison. I see what you're trying to do, Polight, but you're not going to trick me into saying what? The truth? He created the evil. If I created an Adam and an Eve and no one knew who Adam and Eve was, no one knows who Adam and Eve is. Nobody knows who Adam and Eve is. Adam and Eve were just born. Then they make children. They have Cain and Abel. And Cain kills Abel. Then Cain goes into the garden. Genesis chapter 4, verse 14. He's being expelled from the enclosed garden. He's afraid. He says, because these people going to kill me out there in the land of Nod. Hold on. I thought it was only Adam and Eve. Cain and Abel. Why is Cain afraid someone's going to kill him outside the garden? Who the hell are those people? Are they older than Adam and Eve? Then 2 verses down from Genesis 4:14, he goes from not only being afraid that the people in the land of Nod is going to kill him, in Genesis 4:16, now he gets him a wife, just 2 verses down. Now where the hell his wife come from? And who are these people that he was afraid was going to kill him when he got kicked out of the garden when they were supposed to be the only people on planet Earth? So there was people that existed older than Adam and Eve. But then Adam might be a tribe, because if you go to Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, it said, and the Lord God made man in his image and after his likeness. But you go to Genesis chapter 2 verse 7, it says, let us blow our breath into man. And God blew his breath into man and man became a living soul. And then you go to where? You go to Genesis chapter 5 verse 2. And what happens there? Male, female created he, them, and blessed them and called their name Adam. So now Adam is plural. Male and female created he, them. That means them all in biblical jargon. So male and female created them all and blessed them and called their name Adam. So now what we talking about? How many different times was man created? So Adam's a tribe now? It's a group of people? Because now we actually referring to Adam as a them or their or them all? See, this is what I'm talking about. People don't even read to say man. When is this bullshit going to stop? And trying to make sense out of it can actually drive you crazy too. So I always make sure I'm telling myself I'm reading a children's book. A very advanced children's book. That's how I keep myself sane. Because you start asking questions as though these things are true. You're going to want to crisscrossing your stuff. And someone's, but you can't just read one verse at a time, Brother Polight. You have to. You never read the whole Bible. None of you religious people read the whole Bible. So cut the crap out. You didn't even read everything. You read your same little Psalms every damn time you're on the train, and you know it when you're going to work because it make you feel good. And you let your pastor read the same 20 pages out of a 1,000-page book every year. Easter, the same passage. Christmas, the same passage. Passover, the same passage. Every year you stand up at the same story. You sit around at the campfire and you listen to this shit all the time. And you let your children paint eggs. When did a bunny make eggs? When do bunnies lay eggs? But you teach a child about Santa Claus. But there's no chimneys in the projects. So how the hell could your children believe in a Santa Claus if the building they live in don't even have a damn chimney? It don't even match the narrative. The people say, man, you just taking the fun out of the holiday spirit. But you know where Christmas come from? That's where they get the idea of the purge. It's called Saturnalia. It's the day that they celebrate when it appears Saturn is oppressing the sun on December 25th, where it appears the sun dies on the cross for 3 days, like Jonah in the well for 3 days, because the crux constellation, meaning cross, on December 21st, 22nd, 23rd, or pardon me, on December 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, the sun appears to die on the cross. From the beginning of December, the sun appears to be going downward, descending, dying. And on December 22nd, 23rd, 24th, in its descension, it then comes to a complete stop, or appears to stop on the cross. The sun appears to die on the cross. And on December 5th, 25th, it appears to resurrect 1 degree, or be reborn on the 25th, like a birthday. And this is to bring the winter solstice, the day where be the longest night and the shortest day. This is celebrated by ancient societies. And you know what they do? They go out butt-ass naked. They have sex with children and commit whatever crime they want on that day, December 25th. That's the purge. Christmas and the purge have the same origin. It's called Saturnalia. Everything, as I say, I give you enough words and everything, you go cross-reference it and say, oh shit, the fuck is this? Somehow you niggas allowed the Germans to throw a tree in your house. You feel me? Then you took on Saint Nick from the Turkish people saint. Got nothing to, so you got Germans, you got Vikings, you got all sorts of people. Somehow you just start adding extra shit to this whole crazy ass situation. And they swept all the pedophilia and they kill whoever you want under the rug. And all they was doing was celebrating the longest night and the shortest day of the year. This is what we dealing with, family. But after you give people the facts, that's religious, you know what they do? You can't just read one verse in the Bible. This is what they say after all that information. After all that information. Like you go in there and you look in the Bible and you see in the New Testament where they talk about the Virgin Mary or Emmanuel. You read Matthew chapter 1 verse 23 and they talk about this virgin. And you look up the word virgin in Greek, like Virgo, and you realize that virgin means what? Female. So the Virgin Mary, if translated based on the lexicon, the Greek lexicon of the New Testament, the word they're using for virgin means female, not one who never had sex. So the Virgin Mary, when you do the translation, is the female Mary. Has nothing to do with sex. You know what a religious person does? You're going to hell. That's what it says. But I'm like, do you even take the time out to see? What if I'm telling the truth? What if the word they're using for virgin, in English, we're misinterpreting as one who didn't have sex, when in fact the word that it comes from is being mistranslated, misrepresented, because the word that they're using for virgin in the Greek lexicon means female. So when you see Virgin Mary, you mean female Mary, has no intimation that this person in this story never had sex. What does that do for their immaculate conception? It makes it an immaculate deception. It makes it, so hold on, so the whole world is talking about a Jesus that was born without the aid of copulation in its conventional form, without actual physical sex. So then what does it do? It makes us cross-examine that 13-year-old Mary. Okay, we see it's a mistranslation, girl. Who the hell did you sleep with? Because it wasn't Joseph, runner-up for pedophile of the year. Who was it that really slept with you, Mary? Because we just found out that the word virgin doesn't have nothing to do with sex. It only alludes to female and gender. So who did you physically have sex with now that we know that you're not really a virgin? Are you married? So Mary starts crying. And she says, Tyrone came home from prison and I had sex with him at a young age. Joseph cries. And Joseph was going to lock your ass up too, because you was too old for Mary. You was bound to have sex with her too. You sick. Just as sick, Joseph. See? But then you wonder why the pastors find themselves in a space where they support pedophilia, because subconsciously they're saying to themselves, come on, Mary had a baby at that age. Then they think, I'm a man of God. And then they say God impregnated her inadvertently. They start crossing wires. They start thinking it's spiritual for them to have sex with these little girls. It's all subconscious. All subconscious.
Man. Powerful, powerful shit right there, man. That was a lot of information right there. So, yo, I just want to veer off that a little bit. And say, yo, that was deep right there. Like, everybody going to have to listen to that, you know what I mean, and digest that a little bit more. But,
if the information makes you mad, it's probably a good step.
Yeah, man.
But if it makes you go and do further research, that's the best step. And if it makes you come back and say, man, I'm still going to do this religion anyway, then that means you are under a spell. You're under a ghost spell, a gospel. That's what you're under. We got to get you out of the gospel, the ghost spell. Get out of there. It serves you nothing. You're brilliant with or without it. We see brilliant people be brilliant without it. Take the discipline. If you love the fasting,